How is it that I just sold this book pretty much as soon as I got it, and yet bona fide keys like this will sit for months? To be honest, it happens a lot, and I thought we'd talk about it today. This is another one of those Mint Hunter secrets, and as we always say, it's just another game of supply and demand. Go ahead and like and comment down below. Don't forget to be subscribed. For this video exclusively, we're actually going to be giving a giveaway of the classic Roy Thomas brand new printed omnibus from Dynamite Comics right there. We do giveaways like this all the time. I'm doing this video to address a trend that I got wise to several years ago and has honestly made the collection fund itself for me, and maybe for you too. Today we're focusing entirely on random books. You've heard me advocate for small and underrated keys before, but what about completely random comics? I will have books listed on my eBay page or brought to claim sales offering free shipping, sometimes even 10% off. Sometimes that stuff can still sit for many, many months. And yet I put up a random Swamp Thing book, a random Green Lantern book, a random Spectre book, some funny second printing of a non-key DC book from the 90s, non-key ASMs, the list goes on, and that stuff sells within about 2 hours. A lot of you, I think, are rightly so in thinking that it's odd to go after books like this on your next submission. After all, it's an incredibly niche market to be advocating for those who look for that one incredibly specific book. But here's the reality, folks. Yeah, it's a way smaller pocket of people that might want a book like that, but when they see it, they buy it. In this particular example, someone wanted all the Green Lantern Green Arrows in 9/8. They saw this one, and bam, the last sale of this was $400. I think I mentioned it in a video over the weekend for $350, and he reached out at $300, and I said, sure. Now, what's interesting about that is $300 for a non-key Green Lantern issue. But that's the price people are willing to pay, and frankly, that was $100 under the recent sale. Whereas this bona fide key, first appearance of the Infinity Gauntlet, is also like a $300 book, but even with free shipping and occasional extra free books tossed in or 10% off, it'll still sit for a while. Every time I do a submission and I toss in like semi-popular runs back in the 80s and those get 9/8, those sell immediately. You just saw me put up an Animal Man book. Dude, that book sold before I could even make the video. What you have is people that want such a specific run that they're looking for such oddball specific 9.8s, and no one ever submits them. So when they have it come on eBay, they pounce at it. I've been on the other end of it as a buyer of Green Lantern slabs. I do a daily check. Actually, to be honest with you, I check every few hours every day for like the past 7 years for Green Lantern 9.8. And let me tell you something, there are definitely books that are not keys that I've spent quite a premium on because they're the only ones I've tried to submit them myself. I have no luck, and I just have to jump for them. I'm one of those guys that the market knows, well, he needs it, so sorry, buddy, there's only one on the census. We're making it $500, even though it's 1982. Now, I don't do anything like that. I do try to follow some sales data, but it's true. Some of the books are so niche that there might not even be any on the sales data. It has actually gotten to the point where if I have a CGC submission with nothing but key books, it actually is a slow mover for me versus a CGC submission filled with maybe a 9.8 pre-screen of kind of random books. And the thing is, because there's so many people in the hobby, you get a billion ASM 300s, but you certainly don't see the Spectre number 5, Dr. Fate number 2, All-Star Squadron 50, and Infinity Inc. number 15. And for the person that's one of their favorite comic books ever, if they see that pristine copy go up, they might be inclined to get it. Flat out, I have been more successful selling the most random frickin' books from the late 70s and early 80s than actual keys. Isn't that insane? What world do we live in? But again, if there's 50,000 copies of a book in a graded 9.8, even if it's listed for under FMV, people often will kind of wait to see if they can't do better maybe at a con or a yard sale or something. If you've got something where there's like 2 or 3 on the census, oh boy, you bet it's gonna go. And every time I keep telling myself that, it's such a risk, I don't know, it's such a non-key book, what am I doing? It sells, man, and it sells pretty good. Now here's the catch. If everybody starts doing this, these books become nothing. And I will say, this is really important, so listen here. It's kind of got to be the 9.8. I'm sorry, I advocate for 9.4s and 9.6s, but when it comes to these random books, if you get a 9.4 or 9.6, God help you, man. That is going to be sitting on your eBay page for 3 years. Non-key 2000s, 90s, 80s, and sometimes even 70s books will have a tendency to sit unless it's that perfect 9.8. So specifically, we are talking today about doing 9.8 pre-screens. And non-key books is the best stuff to do for a pre-screen. One of the best examples out there is Amazing Spider-Man. People want Amazing Spider-Man. It doesn't matter the artist, doesn't matter the era, it doesn't matter. If it is a 9.8, it'll probably sell within 24 hours. If you're not priced like a jackass, you do have to be around that fair market value. Years ago, I got a 9.8 on like that one Azrael showcase cover. It was the only one on the census. And I didn't want to part with the book, so I remember putting it up on eBay for $200, thinking this is way too high, no one's ever going to go with it, which is good because I kind of want to keep it. And it sold within 10 minutes. And that's the other thing you got to remember. Sometimes people with these incredibly niche desires, they will have it saved in their search. Do you know you can do that? You can save an eBay search. So if you're on the lookout for a Birds of Prey number 20, 9.8, you can type that in the search and you can save it to your search. So if it ever comes up, you get an email notification and then you can pounce. And I think that that's what happens with these oddball random books. Perfect example is my last CGC submission that you might have caught the video for. Everything with a low CGC submission count is already gone. It's sold. Every single one of the keys I think hasn't sold yet. I'm left with all the keys. Now, if you really want to know the ins and outs, I would try to find 1 or 2 recent sales. That way you're not submitting complete crap to CGC. It should be a popular run, something that's a very cool character. I already mentioned it in this video, but dude, if I get a 9.8 on any Swamp Thing, and I mean any Swamp Thing, it sells immediately. If you submit random Cloak and Dagger books and get 9.8s, are you going to have the same success? I don't know. It really depends on the coolness of the character. And there's no really one metric to measure that with, so it is a lot of gambling. It is kind of a form of gambling to learn those ins and outs, but that's the sort of thing that happens when you do the hobby as long as some of us have, is you learn what sells and what doesn't. I still think you're going to have a hard time submitting like X-Force books that do get the 9.8s, but there's like none on the census. You're going to have a hard time with those, I would imagine, but I could be wrong. I've never tried. I don't think I'm going to try for X-Force. I'm going to stick to Swamp Thing and Spectre and ones with cool covers, iconic stories, things like that. What are some things that you notice sell that you really didn't expect them to and that you think most people probably aren't doing? Let's help each other out. As always, this is an inclusive community, and I thought I'd share this one little tidbit with you. Maybe it helps, maybe it won't, but hey, we talked about it. I'll see y'all at the next video. Keep on hunting.